I'm Sarah Flounders from International Action Center, and let me say, Prime Minister Prashandra, it is an enormous honor to have you here, and thank you so much for coming. So we're here tonight really to learn from this experience from the leader of this revolutionary process who refused to go along and who, Prashanda is the leader of the People's Liberation Army of Nepal, the chairman of the Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist, and that is an enormously important linking involving of the peasants and the working people together, and also building and educating, and with very clear demands for electricity, for infrastructure, for education, the most basic demands that all working people have a right to.
We're talking about the last feudal kingdom on earth, Nepal. And we think about the price that humanity has paid for feudalism worldwide, Europe for centuries. And one of the most heroic and imaginative and effective struggles to emerge from conditions of serfdom in our time, like this year.
Thank you very much. And good evening, Mr. Ramsey Clark and other ladies and gentlemen. I am really feeling emotional to have this brief and very important interaction in this room. Our movement is something very revolutionary and something very new. And it has its own characteristic and some ideological trends, We prepare for 10 years of ideological struggle before initiation of the peoples who are in Nepal. That ideological struggle was mainly centered on the questions of extreme right and extreme left and extreme mainly centrist ideology. 10 years of intense ideological struggle clear a ground for having a new kind of movement according to the concrete situation of Nepal. We try to understand the whole lesson of international communist movement, whole lesson of the international revolutionary movement of the 20th century, whole positive and negative lesson we try to understand. And we try to understand the dynamics of change that has occurred mainly due to the revolution in science and technology. Very few people know that before initiation, before we entered in the civil war, there was an intense debate and discussion inside the parliament. We were the third largest party at that time. Just before 1996, we tried to convince the peoples that we are in favor of the peaceful struggle. How far the state will permit, if they are really sincere, as they state that they are freedom of press, freedom for peaceful demonstration, all these things, if they are sincere and genuine in their commitment, we are ready to have a struggle in a peaceful means. But unfortunately, as you know, everywhere, all over the world, that reactionary peoples say something and they do other things, and there is not any unanimity in their saying, in their doing, There is a vast contradiction. And we try to convince the peoples, and we try to have a peaceful demonstration in the capital city. But unfortunately, state reinforced the forces, and more than 24 peoples, unarmed and innocent peoples, have been killed. And in our base, mass base, in the remote area of Nepal, in the far western, far eastern district, mountainous district, when we have a peaceful demonstration of the peasants, and we raise the basic demands of the peasants, very poor peasants, there was a massive repression in the rural area, and this led us to resist these things, and our ideological preparation and our ground reality, and we try to understand all the phenomena, and we try to develop our own ideology and one strategy and one tactics to resist that kinds of repression. Even in socialism, multi-party competition is must. Without having a multi-party competition, even in socialism, it is not possible to have a vibrant society. Our whole effort, our whole struggle was mainly centralized against the feudal property relation, against the feudal political structure, against this feudal cultural relation. We want to have a democratic revolution to be completed. Without completion of the democratic revolution, it is not possible to enter in the socialist revolution and all the process. You know, I time and again I said that King Gyanendra has played in negative sense a very important role to this revolutionary change in our country. If he has not played this negative role, as Mao Zedong said in Chinese Revolution, Chiang Kai-shek has also played some role. If Chiang Kai-shek would not have played that negative role, it would not been possible to succeed the revolution. In that way, here in our case also, mainly King Gyanendra, by his stupidity, by his autocratic action, he played a very important role of villain, and it created such a situation that it whole mass in first decades of 21st century, we can see a peculiar struggle in Nepal, Side by side, there was armed struggle led by our party, and there was also understanding with other parliamentary party, a two-wheel point understanding, and huge mass movement in the urban area. This is something that happened only in Nepal, because we led the people's war, and we raised the basic demand of our masses in a very particular way, according to the change dynamics and the necessity of the 21st century. Therefore, there came such a tremendous political change, such a form of struggle, both people's war and people's movement, mass movement, peaceful movement, side by side. And after 19 days of the huge mass movement in the urban area and military offensive in different districts, both combined together created such a huge force that these feudal forces, mainly feudal monarchy and autocracy, has to be wiped out. Right now, we are in the process of these three priorities, three responsibilities: drafting new constitution, leading peace process to a conclusion, and initiating the new process of economic development. We Nepalese has created something new. We are in the very big experiment we are making, not only for Nepalese peoples, but for the peoples of South Asia, not only for the people of South Asia, but for the people of all over the world who want a better world, new world, change, radical change, all these things. 3 years back, old state has labeled us as a terrorist, and there was a red corner notice, and I myself has been prized for 55 million rupees for having this head. That was the situation. Now I am here in United Nations General Assembly. I am here with you, discussing with you. Is not this fact itself proves that we are dynamic, we are flexible, we understand the dynamics of change? But I said that you peoples even now not change your tag of terrorist for our party. Who is sectarian? Who is dogmatic? This itself very clearly indicates who is poor in ideology and philosophy, and who is rich and vibrant